welcome everyone. Janet here with Gracious Gifts Tarot, and we are here with a weekly collective reading for June 20th through the 27th. And I want to say that this is for everyone. Take what resonates and leave the rest. I will be breaking this up again into shorter videos that might resonate with you on the day you need to hear it. And we will have a bonus card. But for right now, let's go ahead and get our 4 cards out. I have shuffled this, and we will see what the week ahead has for us. Wild Reflections by Spell is the deck we are using today, and I think you're going to like it a lot. All right, our first card is for Sunday and Monday. Let's take a look. Justice. Oh boy, Major Arcana. So I want you to notice, this is about balance. This is about integrity and honesty and being very clear about how you are dealing with yourself, your emotions, the things that are going on in your life, and especially with relationships with other people. This is the time to get very clear about what you personally are looking for and being sure that you're articulating that in your conversations, whether that's at work or in your private, personal relationships, love relationships, family. And it's also about being sure that you are being fair and honest in all your dealings. So if you are working on a business deal, this is the time to really dig into the details. The devil's in the details, but justice is here to remind us that we want to dot all our I's and cross all of our T's to be sure that we are being fair and that we are being fairly treated. So I know that's kind of a heavy message, but justice we need to take very seriously. I think that it can really be a good reminder, especially with some of the cards we've had in the past few weeks. The Devil's been there, the Tower's been there. So, I think we're seeing a progression here with justice coming into the picture, that things are really gelling and getting clear for you in the situations and relationships in your life. So that's Sunday and Monday. Let's go ahead and see what the rest of the week has to offer, because I think that, we can build on this theme, and then we'll pull that bonus card at the end and kind of get that overarching feeling of where we're going this week. All right, Tuesday and Wednesday. Wow, 10 of Swords. So this is so interesting. Look at how he is pierced all over his body. But this individual has his eyes wide open. And we were pretty heavy into swords last week, the intellect, the logic, the thinking processes. So don't let yourself get bogged down. This is kind of rock bottom sometimes for people. If you remember the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith card, it's a figure that's flat on their face, down on the ground, blood pooled around them, with all of the swords stuck into them, which is pretty dire. You can't get much lower than that. But I always want to call out that there is a dawn in the background. So a new day is starting, new opportunities, hope. And let's see here, there's maybe just a hint of that back here behind him. But his eyes are wide open, so the thought processes have continued. And don't let worries, don't let other people's burdens, don't let other things that distract you get you into a state of mind where you're just kind of spinning and feeling like you can't get out of the situation. Because like I said, there's always hope. And we have the beautiful card of Justice, Major Arcana, which in my experience outweighs the day-to-day stuff of the numbered cards. So justice is here to really help us navigate on Tuesday and Wednesday, a bump in the road that might come along, and it might just all be in your own head, right? It might be that you are just worrying too much about the situation and getting clear of that. The new dawn is coming. All right, let's see what Thursday and Friday have for us. So we're moving forward in this progression. Okay, 8 of Wands, something very fast is going to happen. In looking at this card, 8 of Wands, it's very hopeful. Look at the beautiful waterfall there. I'm going to hold that up for you to take a look at that. But the 8 of Wands is one of the fastest moving cards in the deck, except for perhaps the Knight of Swords, who is charging forth, no holds barred sometimes, maybe not with the best of common sense. But Eight of Wands, messages are coming in, communication is going to get clear. We're in our fire sign now. We had air and we had the major arcana. Now we're in our fire sign. Our creativity is just going to go through the roof. And the leadership skills. We had the King of Wands just last weekend. So remember those leadership skills and your ability to articulate it. And what's so interesting to me is that these are all kind of formed into that pyramid or teepee type shape with growth coming out up here. And that's almost got a pentacle feeling for me, but there's growth here. And the Eight of Wands, traditionally, they're all going in the same direction and they're flying through the air. I think Light Seer's deck brings them together kind of like this one does, which is really interesting. But so much energy shooting out of the top here. So really positive after the Ten of Swords. So hang on, folks. We're going to get there. We really are making progress. Let's take a look at what is going into next weekend. I think that that's going to help us kind of clear out some of this energy. Beautiful Page of Pentacles, the Messenger, the youth, the beauty, the dreamer here. So now we have earth, we had fire, air, and earth. And I don't think we had earth last week. So here we are going to have an opportunity in the coming weekend to get really grounded. And there's that sunflower that usually shows up in Pentacles, especially with the Queen of Pentacles. But look at how dreamy this is. And it's surrounded by that beautiful energy, tying you to being grounded to the earth and soaking up that beautiful energy of summer. This definitely evokes a feeling of we're going into summer when the sunflowers are blooming. And just take advantage of the youthfulness of the pages. I love pages in all of the suits because they can be a lighter-hearted person in our lives, or finding that in ourselves. And after what's kind of a heavy week here, especially at the beginning where things are pretty serious and it's in our head stuff and we're really having to tap into who we are and have that integrity, then on the weekend we really get a moment of reflection, rest, go play. Okay, that's our theme for next week. And please just go play. Surround yourself with friends, family, children, your pets, whatever it is that rocks your boat, and go out and just play. Maybe take a hike, maybe go on the lake, do those things that refresh and rejuvenate that youthful spirit that I know you have and that you're going to tap into. So that's what we have in the tarot cards. Let's not get into our heads so much that we're feeling like we have no hope, because the dawn is definitely coming at the end of the week. Something fast. Be aware that some message, something just for you may come through that you need to be ready to accept, and grab that opportunity quickly. That's another thing about the Eight of Wands is it happens, it comes and goes. It's going to come and go right by. So be ready to grab it. Don't hesitate. And then we have kind of that calming down next week and that feeling of being able to be joyful in our youthfulness. All right, we are going to use Kyle Gray's Angel and Ancestors deck, one of my absolute favorite oracle decks. And we are going to just go ahead and turn them right side up first. Not that it matters, because I'm going to do that washing machine thing again that I just have been having fun with. All right, we'll do a quick shuffle. Try not to repeat cards, but if a repeat card comes up, we were meant to get that message again. That's my true belief. All right, folks, overarching Angel and Ancestor card. And now I have to straighten them up, right? Broken Arrow, embrace the energy of peace. Let me grab the book real quickly. I'm going to set that down. Broken Arrow. Okay, went right to it. Let go of the need to defend yourself and prepare to offer peace. You are safe. And I love that that again picks up kind of that energy we just saw with the Page of Pentacles. He was definitely at peace. Just as the arrow card symbolizes defense and protection, the broken arrow card symbolizes peace. In Native American traditions, a broken arrow would mean that the tribes were no longer fighting one another, but were making alliances. When you see a broken arrow in a meditation, vision, dream, or reading, it is a message that you are no longer need to fight because peace has arrived. This is a powerful symbol of harmony, serenity, and community. And I really, really think this is a beautiful message, especially at the beginning of the week, Tuesday and Wednesday. If you find yourself in this mental state, remember, we're getting here. Peace is important. You know, sometimes we just need to lay those 10 swords down and move on towards the light, which we definitely were getting the message here with the 8 of Wands. And then again, I'm going to show you, I'm going to end up this with our beautiful Page of Pentacles. Okay, that's what I have. And I have a little message.